Finally, it is here, the best time of the year for WWE and its fans. 4 months. The 4-month period is here when wrestling, writing, storylines, characters, in-ring action are supposed to be at its peak. We have Royal Rumble leading up till WrestleMania. Now, there is a huge match coming up, and we all know what it is, and that is the Royal Rumble match itself. It's one of my favorite matches of all time. You take 30 superstars, you see who can last all the way to the end, and if they do, they will go on to main event WrestleMania. Now with the brand split and everything being crazy this year, we could see a lot of different outcomes for this year's WWE Royal Rumble match. There's 30 participants, but I say there is only 10 plausible WWE 2017 Royal Rumble winners. And at number 10, we have Chris Jericho. Now, he has actually reinvented himself so much that he is at the best point of his career ever, I think. He's got some great stuff going on, and it's like a brand new Chris Jericho. You've had some great stuff in the past. You've had great stuff leading up to where he is right now, but right now he might be at one of the best points in his career. He's one of the most entertaining on the microphone for sure, and he's what's keeping Monday Night Raw interesting. Now, Chris Jericho winning the Royal Rumble could be a possibility here because of his friendship with Kevin Owens. We know that Kevin Owens has a match with Roman Reigns coming up at the Royal Rumble itself, but depending on the outcome, this could lead for a very interesting Royal Rumble. If Kevin Owens is able to retain the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble, we could see Chris Jericho go on to win the Royal Rumble match and then headline against his buddy Kevin Owens at the WWE WrestleMania. Now, this could be a huge match. We could see Chris Jericho taking on Kevin Owens in what could be one of the best feuds of the entire year. I think that Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens being the best friends has been awesome. They play off each other perfectly, and this would be a perfect time to split them up. You have Chris Jericho win the Royal Rumble, then you have Kevin Owens kind of not embracing his friend, and then we see where this goes. I think this is very interesting. I think this leads to a lot of awesome possibilities, and like I said, Chris Jericho has been at the height of his career. I mean, for a while he was just that guy who came back and then he lost. But now I think he's that guy who can come back. He can still hang. He can still be very entertaining. I think the list is one of the best things ever. I think the scarf's awesome. I think that Chris Jericho has just killed it this year, last year. And I think that main eventing WrestleMania after winning the Rumble would be awesome. Taking a look at the landscape of both Raw and SmackDown brings me to my next two on the list. At number 9, we have John Cena. Now, we know that John Cena is slated to go against AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. Now, this could be a time for John Cena to actually get in the Royal Rumble match. Now, based off the placement of this WWE World Championship match, we could see the Royal Rumble closing out the show. Most likely, that is what they're going to do. Having the WWE Championship before that could mean that we could see a contender from that match go into the Royal Rumble. Biggest possibility is that John Cena does not beat AJ Styles, but does enter into the Royal Rumble match. Say what you want about John Cena, but he is the reason that SmackDown beat Raw in the ratings a couple weeks ago. I think that John Cena is great for business. There's nobody else like John Cena who did the schedule that John Cena did, who's wrestled as many high caliber matches and put on great matches. I just think that John Cena is great. He's smart for business. Whether you like him or not, or you're sick of him or whatever, he's John Cena, and he said it best. You know what? I'm going to be in this spot because I'm John Cena. And I think that's a great twist on his character because you know what? He's cocky. He knows he's cocky. He can back it up, and he's John Cena. So John Cena, whether he does beat AJ Styles, I'm thinking he doesn't, and then he enters himself into that Royal Rumble match, that could lead for something very, very interesting leading up to WrestleMania. We spoke about the WWE Championship being on the line, but let's talk about the Universal Championship. At number 8, we have Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is going in to fight Kevin Owens in what is going to be a shark cage match. I don't know if it's going to be good, bad, or ugly, but we're about to find out when Royal Rumble hits us. Now, I say you let Kevin Owens keep the championship, and he goes on to WrestleMania as the Universal Champion. But you could have Roman Reigns enter into the Royal Rumble. As I spoke earlier with the WWE Championship match, most likely the Royal Rumble match itself is going to close out the show. What I see is Roman Reigns being able to enter himself into the Royal Rumble. You need to put him in the Royal Rumble match because you could do a face-off with Brock, you could do a face-off with Goldberg, Braun Strowman. There's just so much possibility to put Roman Reigns inside that Royal Rumble match. Now, Roman Reigns is the guy. WWE loves Roman Reigns, and they want to put him in the main events. It's clear. You obviously know it. What better way than to have Roman Reigns win the entire thing? And at number 7, we have the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar equals ratings, equals buy rates, equals everything good in WWE. Brock Lesnar's a guy who you can believe, wrestling might be fake, may be scripted, whatever you want to say about wrestling, but Brock Lesnar gives you that shred right there of a guy who really goes out there and beats people up and does his job because he gets paid. He said it a number of times, and he has headlined many big main events. Brock Lesnar's no stranger to WrestleMania, and Brock Lesnar could be main eventing this year's WrestleMania. Now, whether they want to pull the trigger on Brock versus Goldberg or maybe go a different direction and have Brock Lesnar win the Royal Rumble, I think it would be perfect to have that guy win. Any way you slice it, Brock Lesnar is good for business, and I say you could have him come, have a good match at WrestleMania, whether he wins or loses, and then Brock Lesnar could make another star. Say you want to have Brock Lesnar go against a Kevin Owens, that's a possibility. That's something you could see. Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, WrestleMania, that's something you could possibly see at WrestleMania. Again, the brand split opens up for a lot of different things. There's a possibility that the winner of the Royal Rumble could choose Raw or SmackDown for the championship they want to go for at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar's a beast. He's awesome. His strength is like none other we've seen before. And at WrestleMania, we could be seeing Suplex City. And at number 6, we have the man known as Goldberg. What was supposed to be a one-off match coming back against Brock Lesnar, Goldberg decided that he's going to stick around and he's going to enter the Royal Rumble match. Now, I think this is good. I think that Goldberg is good for business. The reason being is a lot of people don't like when these old guys come back and they take the spotlight. But look at it this way. You put Goldberg on the card and you have him be in one of the main events. Let him win the Rumble, let him main event, but don't worry because we have an awesome card leading up to that. This is where it shines. You put Goldberg as the main event and you build an awesome card around it. People buy the pay-per-view because they know, I'm going to see Bill Goldberg, and Bill Goldberg's going to kick some ass, but you know what? There's going to be a lot of awesome stuff that comes before it. That's what a lot of people don't get when they put these names, these guys that are part-timers, on the card. Yes, they're taking a little spot away from somebody else, but they are getting you to buy that pay-per-view. That casual fan who said, you know what? I remember Goldberg. I want to watch Goldberg. And they tune in to see Goldberg. But what do they get? They also get a lot of awesome matches prior to that. Now, Goldberg had some sort of deal made with the WWE. He was coming in for a one-off, and obviously he wanted more in his career. For them to keep Goldberg around, there had to be some sort of deal struck. I think that Goldberg winning the Royal Rumble would be a solid choice. Braun. This is perfect. Braun Strowman, a guy who I didn't think would be at the top of the list here, but he makes it at number 5. I think that Braun Strowman is at perfect place in his career. WWE loves big guys. In a time where it's all about the indie darling making it now with Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, guys like that, AJ Styles, they're smaller. But you now have a guy like Braun Strowman who can actually stand out. He looks like a guy that could kill you, but he also looks like somebody that WWE would love to push to the moon. I think last week on Raw, it was brilliant when you took Braun Strowman, you had him go face-to-face with Goldberg and Roman Reigns, only to get speared by both Goldberg and Roman Reigns. It shows that it took 2 superstars to take down Braun Strowman. I think that Braun and Sami Zayn was a great rivalry that will lead to something bigger for Braun Strowman. Honestly, I thought that this was going to make Sami Zayn's career. I love to see it, but I actually love to see Braun Strowman beat up Sami Zayn even more. I think that Braun Strowman is perfect in the WWE mold. You take him, you push him to the moon, and you let him see what he can do. He's a guy who's WWE ready and made, and I think that Braun Strowman is perfect. He's not like a guy like the Great Khali who can't really wrestle or can't really talk. Braun Strowman is a guy who I could get behind and believe that could beat up most of the WWE roster. When you think of guys that could do that, there's not a long list. Braun Strowman is perfect to win the Royal Rumble this year. And at number 4, we have The Undertaker. This one is obvious. Undertaker said that he is back. He came back on SmackDown, said he's back. Now he came back on Raw. Unfortunately, I recorded this before I actually saw that Raw, so we're going to have to wait and see what he says. My prediction is that he enters himself in the Royal Rumble match. No surprise. Undertaker being in the Royal Rumble match could say this is the end for The Undertaker's career. I think that you need to have, if The Undertaker's retiring, and if you want to do it this way, I say you have The Undertaker win the Royal Rumble. You have Undertaker win the Royal Rumble, he can go on to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Whether it's AJ Styles or whether it's John Cena as champion walking into WrestleMania, you do Undertaker versus one of them. Undertaker could then win the title at WrestleMania and then retire going into the WWE Hall of Fame and then retire the championship. I think this is a perfect send-off for one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, The Undertaker. When you think of WWE, there's a short list of guys that actually have that name right there, and Undertaker is top on the list. I say you have The Undertaker win the Royal Rumble if you do it this way. You have him win the WWE Championship if you do it this way, and then you retire. Then next year, Undertaker goes into the WWE Hall of Fame. I think this is a perfect send-off to the dead man. I think that Taker deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, no question, and it's a nice way to end his career. Taker winning the Royal Rumble would be awesome. If you want a storyline to make perfect sense, Baron Corbin's your guy. Baron Corbin hasn't been in the main event scene, but what he has been right now has been perfect. He's come out against AJ Styles and John Cena and says that he wants to fight the winner at Royal Rumble. Baron Corbin is a guy that I see in the SmackDown main event scene. Whether it's going to be this year or it's going to be next year, I think that making him win the Royal Rumble match would make perfect sense. He won the Andre Memorial Battle Royal, and he wants to challenge AJ Styles or John Cena for the championship. He fits right in there. This is a perfect little storyline that would make sense if you could have him win the Rumble. You could have Baron Corbin win and go on to WrestleMania. Whether he wins the title or not, that's irrelevant. The fact that he won the Rumble and the fact that he's in the main event would solidify him as a guy. I like Baron Corbin. I do. I really do. I like his character about how he was not an indie darling and how he made it in the WWE. He said, you know what? I'm going to be a pro wrestler. And he became a WWE superstar. Like, that's what Baron Corbin did, and I can get behind that character. He also doesn't like the smaller guys. He doesn't like the cruiserweights. He just wants to do it the big man's way. And again, like I said, with Braun Strowman, there's not a lot of big guys in the WWE anymore. And I think Baron Corbin is a bigger guy that can fit the mold of what could be a main eventer on SmackDown. So if you take Baron Corbin, have him win that Rumble match, go on to WrestleMania, not win the WWE Championship, but there it is, a guy who went in the main events and he can hold his own. And at number 2 is Finn Balor. Honestly, this is that surprise entrance that we want to win the Royal Rumble. Getting injured, losing the Universal Championship, now coming back to claim his spot. Hey, I want that title. You have Kevin Owens keep the championship till WrestleMania. You have Finn Balor come back, win the Rumble. Finn, Kevin, WrestleMania main event. It makes sense. It sells itself right there. Whether you have Finn win the title or not, I don't know. It's up to you. But I do think that Finn Balor, surprise entrance, Royal Rumble, winning it all is best for business. And number 1 bold prediction on who I think should win the Royal Rumble match is The Miz. Yes, I'm going to get some hate for this, but I will back it up with some things that I think are great about The Miz. The Miz has done something great since he went on SmackDown Live. He had a little rivalry with Daniel Bryan that boomed his career. It fast-tracked him. I think The Miz being honest, The Miz persona, Maurice being on his side is just perfect. He did some awesome stuff with the Intercontinental title, but now Dean Ambrose is that Intercontinental champion, and The Miz could very well be winning the Royal Rumble. Here's what I see with The Miz, though. You have him win the Royal Rumble, and what does he do? No, he does not go for the SmackDown Championship. He goes for the Raw Championship, and you get The Miz over on Raw for the Universal Championship. I don't know what kind of match you would have. You wouldn't really want Kevin Owens there. Would you want The Miz, Roman Reigns? Could happen, could be a thing, not sure. They could just change it up. But I do think The Miz would be perfect if you could get him over onto Raw again. I think that it's a nice little way that I just think The Miz has worked his ass off in his current role on SmackDown, that he deserves to be up in the main events. Maybe you do want to push him up in the main events, but do you want to see The Miz, AJ Styles? Do you want to see The Miz, John Cena? I don't know, but I do think that The Miz is at a different time than when he main evented WrestleMania back in the day. I don't think that he was ready for that spot, but I think now The Miz is ready, and he is ready for those main events. I think that you could have him win the Rumble, and I don't think anybody would be disappointed. I think everybody shows that The Miz has worked his ass off this year. He has worked his ass off at the end of last year, and he is right there ready for the main events. Having The Miz win the Royal Rumble would not be a shocker to me. Anyway, guys, those are my 10 picks for Royal Rumble winners in 2017. Let me know what you think about this list. Did you like the top 10 or did you hate the top 10? And who do you think should be at number 1? Also, was there anybody that I forgot off the list that you would have added and made it a little bit different? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoy this. And also, check out 2 of these other videos. These are some of the good stuff that I do on my channel. You may have missed them. You may have not seen them because you're not subscribed to the channel or you're new to the channel. But check them out. They're awesome videos. Anyway, guys, as always, TonyPizzaGuy 2.